The Day of the Rope by Devon Stack. Chapter 12. Wayne had made the rounds on all the mainstream outlets he had expected would contact him, and even a few that he hadn't expected that, seeing the ratings of their competitors, had bit the bullet and briefly invited him on their programs. Of course, the left-wing outlets had predictably gone to great lengths to try and blame any political violence on people like Wayne, and almost went as far as saying that he had been asking for it for having such unpopular opinions. These interviews had all backfired, of course. He had said all the right things, and the internet savvy right had quickly cut up these interviews into viral clips to highlight the media's bias. Wayne still hadn't received any offerings from big donors, and there were only so many live streams people would watch of Wayne spouting off platitudes in a hospital bed. He had to keep the momentum going. And as much as he hated to admit it, he would need sponsorship to get his message out beyond the politically active and the red-pilled corners of the internet, and in front of the fluoride-addled minions and minds of the normies. Were they vetting him? Perhaps they were hoping he would just be the flavor of the week. This would be a significant setback, but he'd adjust his plan accordingly if he thought it might have to make headlines again. What gave him hope was that the media machine hadn't tried to destroy him yet. Even if they were going to destroy him, they would still have to build him up first. They would make him a household name, and then right as it seemed the public at large was about to embrace his message, they would perform the predictable public execution of his character. So I guess you're the famous Nazi everyone's talking about, a woman's voice said from behind the curtain that divided the hospital room. Why do you think I'm a Nazi? Wayne asked. Well, at least you're not denying it, said the woman's voice. No, really. Why do you think I'm a Nazi? Wayne asked, his tone pleasant. Because I know who you are, the female voice said in disgust. Not if you think I'm a Nazi. You know, that's the mistake you people make. You weren't content with trying to make your case. You decided it was easier to demonize the people you disagreed with. And you stopped trying to make the case intellectually. If you never had to deal with the other people questioning your ideas and just turn everything into an us versus them, you stop questioning your own ideas yourself and just lash out emotionally. Oh, look, The Nazi is also a sexist. Why am I not surprised? The woman snarked. What did I say that was sexist? You see, this is what I'm talking about. You didn't address a single thing I said. You just demonized me with another label, Wayne said. Wayne heard a loud sigh come from the other side of the curtain. What's your name? Wayne said. You've got to be fucking kidding me. A fucking Nazi is hitting on me. Just kill me now, said the woman. How could I resist? Oh, I probably shouldn't use that word. You might start making a protest sign. Look, we're both stuck in here. You think you know who I am? I'm starting to gather who you are. But I'm not going to just dismiss you with a label. It's Eve. We're not going to be friends, okay? I don't make friends with Nazis. I'm glad you're here. You deserved what you got, and it almost makes it okay that I have to be stuck in here with you. Even if I do have to listen to all your lies while you go on your phone and do all your little sob stories and lie and lie and lie. You literally make me sick, the woman shrieked. Wayne heard Eve's hospital bed creak loudly. Wait. Are you streaming this? The curtain dividing the room violently slid back, revealing Eve angrily staring at Wayne from her hospital bed. She was bandaged nearly entirely from waist down and awkwardly positioned so that she could reach the curtain. Fuck, I shouldn't be seen. That would have been awesome, Wayne said, grinning at her. It might violate HIPAA, but still awesome. Fuck off, she said, as she positioned herself more comfortably on her back. So, did you deserve that? Wayne asked, pointing at her bandaged legs. Eve said nothing. She stared at the ceiling, her face contorting. Wayne thought for a moment she was going to start crying. As much as he thoroughly disliked this unpleasant and misguided woman, he wouldn't enjoy making her cry. How about, in the spirit of redistributing wealth, I let you have whatever you want. I have that pile of chocolates and fruit baskets. Wayne pointed to the stack of baskets, flowers, and balloons that accumulated in his corner of the room. Eve still said nothing. Suit yourself. You'll change your mind after you've had what they've tried to pass off as mashed potatoes, Wayne said. Wayne's phone buzzed with an alert, and he removed it from his charger on the nightstand next to his bed. On the phone's home screen was a notification for a text message from a number he didn't recognize. He unlocked his phone and read it. 202-555-4982. Hello, Wayne. I hope your recovery is going well. My name is Ann Ornstein, and I work with Zyacom. Would love to speak to you about your future plans. You have my personal number now, and I sent you an email as well. Please let me know when we can have a chat. Thanks. Get well. This could be good. Zyacom was one of the largest media companies in the world and probably owned about half of the networks he had done interviews with. He didn't want to get too ahead of himself, but this might be exactly what he was looking for. One of your adoring Nazi fans? Do they end every message with Heil Hitler? Eve said in a mocking voice. Yes. It's a Nazi youth group in Fort Lauderdale, inviting me to speak at their next Klan rally. Wayne smiled, realizing that Eve wasn't sure if he was joking. Geez, you really do think we're Nazis. Maybe if you didn't push so hard to censor us, or if you didn't shut down our speakers, you might learn a thing or two about what we actually think. I don't listen to hate speech, Eve shot back. Who defines hate speech? You think I don't hate having to listen to leftists in pop music, movies, and schools? We're surrounded by people like you, spouting off your views. I can't go a day without having some leftist talking point shoved in my face, or worse, the fruits of your ideology affecting me directly. The difference is we don't spurg out and start lighting trash cans on fire. You want to know why? Wayne asked. Because we don't use hate speech, Eve said. Well, that depends on how you define hate speech, which is what is wrong with the idea of hate speech in the first place. But no, that's not why. It's because I don't fear your ideas being expressed, because I know my ideas are better. I know that if I'm allowed to speak and you're allowed to speak, that my ideas will win, Wayne said. Of course. Your ideas sound good to the same patriarchy that thought slavery was a good idea, Eve screamed at him. So now I'm promoting slavery. You see why it's so hard for us to have just a basic dialogue? All I said was that I want freedom to express my ideas, and you jumped right to blaming me for slavery. Wayne snorted. Oh, I must be an emotional girl that can't handle your ideas, Eve said. I'm starting to think you're right, said Wayne. See, I knew you were sexist. You just admitted it, Eve said, crossing her arms. Wayne had often wondered what the world would be like if the men in America had never given women the power to vote, how many elections would have had different outcomes? Privately, he admired the way that Muslims had managed to preserve the gender roles and thought that if there were any silver linings to a Muslim takeover in America or in Europe, it would be the end of women like this. The irony, of course, was that it was women like this who were doing everything they could to make a Muslim takeover possible. What made women so short-sighted and quick to turn on their people? It was a testament to the power of women. What was, despite how politically incorrect the right was in their movement, and no matter how much they thrived on controversy, very few people within the male-dominated movement would openly speak on the subject of women's politics. Wayne knew his perception of the damage caused by women voting wasn't a fringe notion. Most of the men within the movement had expressed similar feelings privately. One of the sad realities about this modern feminized world was that despite all their complaining to the contrary, women had a disproportionate amount of power in the political world. For now, it would have to be enough to oppose radical feminism. Yes, I suppose I am, Wayne said, and turned his attention back to his phone to check his email. End of chapter 12.